Oh, I really hope it's not too late. I hope it's not too late for another stimulus check or another stimulus package, because there are millions and millions of people who need the money. So please, this year, it can't be too late for more stimulus money. It cannot be. It's the Matt Blaze Show. It is September 15th, 2020, and we still don't have a stimulus package. We still don't have stimulus checks. Now, I look at videos every single day on YouTube, as I'm sure you do as well. And I see these flashy headings every day. Stimulus check, $1,200 stimulus check, coming. No, it's not. Click on this for more information. No, it's not coming. There's no stimulus check. At least not yet. Nothing has passed. I see every day some guys put out updates every single day to tell you what's going on. I see websites that put it out every single day. Second stimulus check coming. Here's what you need to know. Same article every day. It says the same thing every day. Every day they update what'll happen if it passes in the House, passes in the Senate, president signs it, you'll get the money. Every single day, there's a timeline. We don't need timelines anymore. We need the money. People need the money. And I see these videos every day of people giving you updates, but I don't see anybody mad about it. I don't see anybody pissed off. I'm pissed off. I don't see anybody, I don't see any American people, like me, I'm an American, talking directly to Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mark Meadows, and Steve Mnuchin. The four people that have been tasked with getting a deal done for you, the American people. These four people hold the lives of millions of people in their hands. Millions and millions of people to get a deal done for another stimulus check, another stimulus package, for money that people desperately need. And now we are a month and a half after these things expired, right? The enhanced unemployment, the $600 everybody was getting, expired the end of July. The eviction moratorium that expired. Now it has been renewed till the end of the year. But that doesn't mean anything. Where's the aid? Because as of right now, it's a Band-Aid that eventually has to be paid. So yes, people can't get thrown out of their houses or their apartments, but come December 31st, guess what? You gotta pay that money back. So right now it's just a Band-Aid until there's some kind of aid, some kind of money, some kind of program that's put in place to help people pay this money that they couldn't pay because they don't have a job because of the pandemic. But meanwhile, here we are on September 15th, and there's been no deal. There's been no talking, barely any talking in a month. It is a disgrace and an embarrassment to this country. And you should be pissed. I'm pissed. I'm pissed off that this has gone on for a month and a half. There is no way in July that I would have thought that this would be going on in mid-September. And now I see articles talking about, oh, there might not be anything passed until after the election. Well, today is September 15th. The election is 6 weeks from now. People needed money 3 weeks ago, a month ago. How could we not pass something soon, as in like tomorrow, as in like yesterday, as in a week ago, as in 2 weeks ago? I don't understand what the problem is. There needs to be a negotiation. There's no negotiating going on. I hear Nancy Pelosi saying she's a master negotiator. No, you're not. Because if you were a master negotiator, you would have had the deal done. This is not master negotiating. This is not negotiating. And there was a point in time when I could point fingers at everyone. But right now, it's all your faults. It's Nancy Pelosi's fault. It's Chuck Schumer's fault. It's Mark Meadows' fault. It's Steve Mnuchin's fault. It's Mitch McConnell's fault. It's the Republican Party's fault. The Democrats' fault. It's everybody's fault. Everybody's at fault because we need the money. People need the money. It doesn't grow on trees. There's no trust fund. They don't have $1 million bank accounts. There are people right now that do not know how they are going to feed their family tomorrow. They do not know how they're going to pay their electric bill. They don't know how they're going to pay their car insurance or their health insurance or their car payment or everyday life bills. They don't know how they're going to pay this because you can't make a deal. You are failing the American people every single day because now we're playing politics. This is politics now. When people desperately need the money, where are you? What are you doing? What are you doing? How can you just say, no, this is where we stand. This is it. We're not moving off of our position. That's nonsense. That's ridiculous. That's garbage. That's not negotiating. I know. The House passed a bill 4 months ago. Exactly 4 months ago today, the House passed a $3.4 trillion bill. Now, the House knew, Nancy Pelosi knew, that that was not going to fly with Mitch McConnell and the Republicans. It wasn't going to fly. She knew that. And then what happened? Mitch sat on the bill for 2 months. 2 months. This guy sat on the bill and did absolutely nothing for 2 months. Here's what we heard for 2 months. Oh, we don't need another bill. We don't need any more stimulus. Oh, the virus is going to go away come the summertime, and the economy's going to come back, and it's going to magically disappear like the president said. We don't need any more money. We're not going to do anything. And then what happened? What happened, Mitch? What happened? In Florida, at the end of June, the cases spiked. In Georgia, the cases spiked. In Arizona, the cases spiked. In California, COVID cases spiked. And then sometime in the middle of July, Mitch, in his infinite wisdom, said, oh, we got to come up with a bill. We got to come up with something. Oh, we need more stimulus money because the coronavirus isn't going away. Like the president said, what are we going to do? Oh, and introduces a $1 trillion bill. $3.4 trillion from the Democrats, $1 trillion from the Republicans. Big difference. What are we going to do? Well, we got to do this, right? We have to come to a compromise. We have to negotiate. Now, the Democrats, Nancy, Chuck, put in a lot of crap in the bill that had nothing to do with coronavirus. A lot of extra junk they wanted. And I don't blame them for that. I don't blame them for that. You want to call it a negotiation tactic? That's fine. I don't blame them. You know why I don't blame them? And any salesman will tell you this. That is sales 101. You ask for all the money. Because the worst that can happen is to say no. And then from there, you negotiate a deal. So they asked for $3.4 trillion and they said, no way. Expected. They want $1 trillion. And Nancy and Chuck said, no way. And then you started hearing, they're not taking this seriously. They don't understand the gravity of the situation. That is not enough money to help the American people. That's what I kept hearing. And nobody wanted to move. And we went through that for, I don't know, a couple days, a week, whatever it was, right? And then Nancy says, look, we'll come down $1 trillion. You come up $1 trillion. That's negotiating. Now you think if the Democrats with their $3.4 trillion up here, no, they're not going to get that. The Republicans with their $1 trillion down here should know that they're not going to get that. So Nancy says, let's meet in the middle, somewhere around the $2 trillion mark, right? And Mark Meadows and Steve Mnuchin go, no, we're not going to do that. No, 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 no. What? How? You're not negotiating. At least at that point. At that point, Nancy was trying to negotiate. I get it. At that point, we'll come down, you come up. That's what negotiating is. But Mark Meadows, no. And honestly, I think if it wasn't for Mark Meadows, we would have had a deal by now. We would have had a deal a month ago if it wasn't for this Mark Meadows taking that hardline stance. No, 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 because they didn't move off that trillion. And then they went to 1.3. They went up 300 billion after a month of saying nothing, we're not moving, or a couple of weeks or whatever it was. And that's all Mark Meadows' fault. I blame it all on Mark Meadows. You know what, Mark? This isn't a real estate deal where you don't like the terms, you walk away. This isn't a car deal where if you don't like the terms, you walk away. You're not selling your Air Jordan 4s on eBay and you don't like the price or you don't like what somebody wants to give you, you walk away. This is the American people. These are people's lives that you are holding in your hand that need the money. They need the money. Do you not understand that? They don't have money. They have no way of paying for things. They are counting on you to strike a deal. And you're doing nothing with no negotiating. The worst negotiating skills I've ever seen in my life. No compromise. Let me tell you. Let me give you a lesson about compromise, okay? Here's what compromise is. You see, this side gets some of what they want. And then this side gets some of what they want. But both sides don't get everything they want. That is compromise. That is negotiation. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to do it. Now, to Steve Mnuchin's point, he said, look, after a stalemate, he goes, look, how about we do this? There's a lot we agree on. They agreed on a $1,200 stimulus check way back in August. Could have passed it. Steve said, look, we agree on a lot of stuff. Why don't we pass what we agree on? And then we'll revisit the other stuff later on down the road. Now, to me, that seemed like a pretty fair deal. Okay. That's making headway. That's compromise. Now, you have Nancy going, no. Still saying no. Her own party, people in their own party are saying, look, make a deal. Let's do something with what we agree on. And Nancy still says no. That's going to hurt our leverage with other things. That's going to hurt. We can't buckle our knees now at the end. We can't buckle. We can't buckle. The president's agenda is to get reelected, and we have the Republicans where we want them. Because they have to bend to us. Because they don't want to be blamed for this. Guess what? It's not working. Because now you're all being blamed for it. The bill that the House passed the other day, Thursday, that $300 million or $300 billion bill, $500 billion, whatever it was all nonsense. Because now everybody's playing politics. That's nonsense. We all know that bill was just to say, look, we tried to do something, but the Democrats blocked it. That's a way, that's what we call a get out of jail free card. So the Republicans that are up for re-election can't be held accountable by their people. They have a reason to go, look, I voted for a bill. It's the Democrats that don't want to give you any money. That's all that was. More politics. I mean, they didn't agree on a $1 trillion bill. How are they going to agree on a $500 billion bill? It makes no sense. I mean, use some common sense here. And none of these people care. Nobody cares because they're all multimillionaires. Nancy Pelosi and her husband are worth $140 million. Mitch McConnell's worth $50 million. Now, that's fine. I'm not knocking the fact that they got money and they're multimillionaires. That's fine. It's okay. It's the American dream. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. But the fact is that they cannot relate to the common person because Nancy Pelosi is not worrying about how she's going to put food on her table tomorrow night. She's not worrying about how her electric bill is going to get paid in her mansion. She's not worried about how her car payments are going to get paid, if she even has car payments. She's not worried about any of that. Nancy Pelosi with the 2 freezers, 10 grand a piece, with a freezer full of ice cream, showing it off to everyone. Freezer full of ice cream while people were waiting for stimulus checks. This was back in April. Remember that? Remember Nancy with the ice cream? Gourmet ice cream, a freezer full of it. Throwing it up into front of people's faces. Look what I have, a gourmet ice cream in a freezer. You know what? How about you put that in the stimulus bill, Nancy? Put some ice cream in for everyone. That's what I want. I want a voucher that says I get a free pint of Ben & Jerry's. Throw that in the stimulus bill. You want to show off your ice cream to everyone. Give everybody some ice cream. Ridiculous. Absurd. You don't see that? You don't see that? You don't relate to people. Oh, I keep hearing from Nancy. Republicans don't understand the gravity of the situation. Well, Nancy, either do you, because you would have made a deal by now, because people need the money. What don't you get? That people can't pay their bills because you have taken no action for a month and a half. And now we're heading into an election. Now we're heading toward a government shutdown. Nobody knows what's going on. But I know that people need money. They're sitting there worrying every night, stressing every night. Sales of Klonopin and Xanax have gone up through the roof because people are taking medication because they're so worried about their futures. How you sleep at night is beyond me. The 4 of you, how can you sleep at night knowing that all these people are so worried about how they're going to pay the bills and you sit there and do nothing? How do you look yourself in the mirror every single day? And I really hope this video gets posted. Post it to Nancy. Post it to Chuck. Post it to Mnuchin, to Mark Meadows. Because they need to know. We're pissed off. The American people are pissed at you for doing nothing. You're doing nothing, and you're hanging people out to dry. And people are going to lose their homes. People are going to be homeless. They're not going to be able to feed their children. They're not going to be able to pay their bills because of you. Because what you're doing now, which is absolutely nothing. You need to make a deal. You need to get in a room and say, we're not leaving this room. I don't care if it takes 3 days. We're not leaving until we strike a deal for the American people. If you are really working for the American people and not for some political nonsense, then that's what you'll do. You will strike a deal for the American people that elected you and keep you in office because they need assistance. They need money. And you're doing nothing right now. And it's a disgrace and it's an embarrassment to this country when other countries are doing it. And this country's doing nothing with this impasse, with this nonsense, political games, political posturing. That's all it is right now. That's all it is. And you need to take some action and do something and stop with this garbage. Make a deal. Give people money. Because even if you passed it tomorrow, it's going to take weeks. And there are people that have been going on for 6 weeks now. Do you know that there are people that make, I saw an article, a story. This woman's making $30 a week on unemployment. $30 a week. Can't find a job. There's no jobs. That's the other thing that's nonsense with the Republicans. Oh, we can't have people making more money on unemployment than they were when they were working. Oh, we can't have that. They don't want to work. They're making more money not working. We can't have that. Are you kidding me with that nonsense? You gotta be kidding. You're worried about $600? Let me tell you something. Mitch. Let me tell you something. If someone's making $600 and that $600 is putting them over what they were making when they were working, they weren't making a whole lot of money when they were working. If they're making $200-$300 extra now. It's $600. You think that we're giving people $50,000 a week for the rest of their lives. It's $600 a week during a pandemic. And with all the nonsense and all the crap that goes on in this country, when you have people like Jeff Bezos who doesn't pay taxes, even the president who claims I don't pay taxes, all these big companies that don't pay taxes, you're worried about somebody who actually needs the money to put food on their table, and you're worried about an extra $600? That's what's holding all this up? That's what all this fighting's about? Because these Republicans that make, an average of $200,000 a year, who never worry about putting food on their table, that never worry about how they're going to pay the electric bill, never worried about how they're going to pay health insurance, considering now that they're in the Senate or the Congress or in the House, they have free health care for the rest of their lives and a pension? They don't worry about that. But the real people, the working people, they do worry about that. So get a deal done. It's absurd to me already. It's crazy. All these people worried. And then you're bitching about $600. $600. It's a shame. You should be ashamed of yourselves to be fighting over $600 in the middle of a pandemic where there's no jobs. This isn't even like the recession. This isn't even like what happened in 2009, 2010. Do you understand? A business closes. Well, you go find another job somewhere else. Well, they're not hiring because the business isn't even open yet. Or it's at such a low capacity that they can't hire more people. Right now in New Jersey, restaurants are open 25% capacity. 25%. You think the people can afford, if the owners of these restaurants can afford to hire more people to carry the indoor diners to take on that load? No, because it's only 25%. So how are they going to justify hiring more people? They can't. There's no money. There's no jobs. This pandemic is still around, and now we're going into the season. And in there's hot spots, cases spiking. I know it spiked a little in New Jersey when they opened dining up 25%. Look what happened in every college that was open. Not every college, but universities across the country. Cases spiking because people don't listen. All over the place, spiking. People need the money. They need money. And you're holding up the money. All of you are holding up the money. You have to understand that. They're not you. They don't have trust funds. They don't have these big bank accounts where they don't have to worry. There are people that live paycheck to paycheck, week to week. Now they're living probably day to day. I said it already. I guarantee you there are people right now have no idea how they're going to feed their children tomorrow because you can't pass a bill. You need to get in a room and you need to get it done. You need to get it done for the American people that have elected you and are keeping you in office that you made promises to protect and serve. This is the United States of America, and the fact that this is happening in this country is craziness. It's insane, it's absurd, and it's a disgrace. And you're disrespecting the people that are counting on you to take care of them. You have a duty to the people of the United States to take care of them. You have a duty to the American people, and you are failing miserably at that. All of you are. So stop with the political posturing, stop with the nonsense, get together, and make a deal. And we'll all be happy. $600? $600? Do you ever think about the fact that with that extra $600, people were able to pay their bills on time, pay their rent on time, and be a little happy during a pandemic when they're worrying about their lives? There's still a pandemic. People are worried about catching the disease. They're worried about their parents. They're worried about their children. They're worried about themselves. And you're worried about they're making a couple extra $100? It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Do something. Do what you were elected to do and help the American people.